I see Mr. John Farnham is at it again. I'm telling you what, this is a man who knows absolutely no shame when it comes to exploiting his fans. Nearly 9 years since he firmly implied he was retiring and would never tour again, Farnham has again announced he will embark on a new concert tour, and his excuse this time, to celebrate 25 years since the release of his monster hit, Whispering Jack. Now, the media is, as usual, laughing the announcement off. Funny old Johnny, the perpetual announcer of retirements. And I want to make it clear that my issue is not with the fact that he's a man who has chosen to come out of retirement. Any retiree is entitled to do that, of course. My beef is with the fact that he took a lot of money off a lot of people by falsely implying that he wouldn't tour again. This is the man who made an absolute fortune for his last time tour after spruiking to his fans that it would be the last time they'd get to see him live. And it was only after he hit the stage on that tour, after he'd already sold the tickets for the premium prices, that he began, in a very slippery fashion, to redefine his meaning of retirement. Standing in front of his crying devotees, that's when he surprisingly declared that his retirement was only from the big venues and that he still intended to go on doing shows. And his sneaky shift in definitions didn't go unnoticed by many of his audiences. And with this week's announcement of the 25 years Whispering Jack tour, it marks the fourth time since that original declaration of retirement that John Farnham has returned to the stage. Now, I'm not the only one who believes the ACCC should investigate this matter. I've been contacted by many former Farnham fans who feel ripped off by Aussie Johnny. I've got Kerry on the line, a former John Farnham fan. G'day, Kerry.
Hi, how are you?
Good to have you on the program. I'm guessing you're not surprised that Farnham's back again?
Well, I'm not surprised, but I just want to correct you. It's not 4 times. We've gone through the list, and it's actually the 20th that he's come back, and he's done 5 national tours.
Oh, really? Is that right?
We've gone through the list.
I've underestimated his greed.
Much, yes. He waited a grand total of 6 months after the last time to get back into the wineries, and then that little thing of Tom and John that was 25,000 people each venue.
Yep.
Symphony Orchestra with Sydney and Melbourne. Then we got Brisbane, Wollongong, Adelaide and Perth. Went to New Zealand for a couple of weeks. The By Demand tour, Day on the Green. And now we have the Whispering Jack tour.
I know, I think it sounds like he toured more times after he retired than beforehand.
It's just a little bit bizarre.
Oh, well, it's unbelievable. And like I said at the top of the program, got no problem with anybody coming back from retirement. That's anybody's right. But he absolutely traded on the back of this supposed retirement back when he did the last time tour.
Exactly right. And I'm looking at the press release now that we've kept since Monday, the 19th of August, 2002.
Now, let's just clarify this. This is the press release that his promoters put out just as they were promoting the last time tour. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is from TalentWorks. I've got the TalentWorks letterhead writing. Glenn Wheatley's mobile phone number, which is... No, I'm joking.
Let's not go there.
No. He's probably changed it a few times since then anyway. But, the last line in the press release is, this will be the last time, in capital letters, I do know, quips John.
Isn't that amazing? So there it is in black and white on a press release for all those fans. Because, Kerry, when I've brought this up in the past, okay, let me just put everything straight here. When I brought this up in the past, Farnham's fans they've started parading around like angry caged gorillas, really. The main point that they claim is that John Farnham never said he was retiring. Now, this is where it's tricky, because back during the promotion of the last time tour, much of the idea, besides that press release that you're pointing to, much of this idea that he was retiring was actually implied strongly rather than directly stated. Now, as a typical Farnham fan back in 2002, what was your impression? Did you believe, as a typical fan, that it was the last time that he'd take the stage?
Look, I have followed John since Whispering Jack. I was 10 years old when the album came out, and I absolutely loved it. And every single thing that he's done since then, I've absolutely loved. And to be, 2002, to find out that this is it, this is what he wanted to do, he was like, You know, I want to leave on a good note. Even at that press launch, he said on Channel 7 News, I've had enough. I want to finish on a good note. I don't want to be one of these people that keep coming back and no one shows up.
So we're making no mistake here. You were absolutely, as a fan, under the impression that he was gone. He wasn't coming back.
Absolutely.
And so you went out in good faith and you bought the ticket, which were very expensive. And you believed when you went to the show, this is a very sad, this is historic. This is the last time.
We're going to say goodbye to John. My whole family, we're going to buy tickets and everything. And we all went thinking this is it. And it was just really, really sad. It was an awful time. But we thought this is... You know, to see him at this venue, I went to Sydney and I also went to the Canberra show, and to see the difference in performance never once changed. He was absolutely at the top. To see him at the end of that, I just thought, this is brilliant. This is fantastic. And then to deal with that emotionally after, you know, going through a lot of things in my own personal life, to find out, a couple of months later, he's doing wineries. He's doing.
And some people might be surprised by this, but let me put it in some perspective. But when you're a fan of an artist, and I'm a fan of quite a few, like I'm talking about a die-hard fan, there is grief when your artist says this is the last album or show or whatever. There is grief. And judging by the crying fans at those shows, they're even on the DVD of the last time, there's no question, and flowers being given to him. I mean, there's no question that most of the people in the audience, despite what he's trying to claim, believed it was the last time. I mean, he even wept on stage.
Even at the end of that DVD, you look at the end and it's got the streamers and the balloons and it's so sad, and the fans hugging each other with their blue T-shirts on the back that said, "Goodbye, John, thanks for the memory."
Goodbye, John. Doesn't that say it all? Because what I'm trying to drive at here is what the fans thought. Because I don't care what... John Farnham can play with definitions, but what I'm trying to drive at is what the average Joe punter believed at the time.
Absolutely.
Was there a sense of history in those crowds?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was, people were remembering, Sadie days. People were remembering... Little Riverband time, and, for me personally, it was more about Jesus Christ Superstar, 1992, because that's what I was really drawn to at that time, was the musicals and... And
it sounds like what you're saying is that a lot of fans, although devastated, were quite supportive because they believed he was going out on a high, and that's what you want your favourite artist to do. To me, this is a clear-cut case of false advertising. The bulk of Farnham's last-time customers believed they were buying tickets to his last live gigs, and that, at the end of the day, is all that matters. The slippery definitions of retirement, they just don't count. Kerry, you've also... I'm talking about that press release. I think that's absolutely critical to what we're saying, because the promoters there in that press release... Can you just repeat to me what it says there? The last sentence there?
This will be the last time I do know, quits John.
Well, that says it all, really, doesn't it?
I don't want to put all the blame... I don't want, all the Farnham fans to turn on me in objecting, to this. And
we're just stating the facts.
Yeah, we're just putting it out there. This is what John had put out there, by the powers that be.
Absolutely.
And the anger should be directed at those powers that be, not John himself. He's gone with, what he loves to do. I don't entirely think it was his decision to go out with this farewell tour. I think he still had a lot more in him. But he was just exhausted. He'd had enough, and he wanted to leave on a high note and not have this sort of thing happen where he's bouncing back and doing this and blah, blah, blah.
Well, Kerry, it will be interesting to see if other people feel the same about this 25-year anniversary tour. Personally, I think it's time the man took the dignified road and just retired permanently. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think it's really sad to see someone go from arenas and blah, 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 all the big sort of shows to, little tiny things and, dropping your prices down so more people will actually show up.
Yeah.
And this is not what he wanted. This is not what he said in the past.
Kerry, thanks for your time tonight.
Not a problem. You have a good night.
You too. This is Time to Talk.